very pleasant good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to the People's Forum of In the Streets with Big Stone. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about something that we have not spoken about on this forum, or I've not heard it being discussed for a long time. And we're talking about slave food. We're talking about slave food that was given to us by our slave masters. Let's take a look at what the record says, ladies and gentlemen. Slave food, the impact of unhealthy eating habits on the black community. Let's take a listen. African Americans are at a disadvantaged population. This is not up for debate. We have less access to quality education. We are underutilized and undervalued in the labor market, making it harder for us to accumulate wealth. For those of us who are in poverty, we do not always receive adequate housing or access to resources that could assist us in our ability to be self-sufficient. The list of ways in which racial inequality, oppression, and discrimination have contributed to the social imbalance between blacks and their counterparts. However, what is often not talked about is how racial disparities influence the overall physical health of blacks in America. African Americans, specifically those who live in low-income neighborhoods of lower socioeconomic status, have less access to quality foods and sufficient health care. According to a report on the state of obesity, approximately 47.8% of African Americans are obese compared to 32.6% of whites. What's equally startling is that 35.1% of African American children ages 2 to 19 are overweight. The adoption of slavery influenced diets, and the barriers we experience due to our physical environment have not only made African American the most obese racial group, but we are at a greater risk for chronic disease and illnesses. Slave food versus soul food. Soul food originated during slavery. If we know our history, we know that we were fed scraps and leftovers discarded by our masters. Slave owners reserved the best nutritional foods for themselves. Slaves were given what was left of the animal remains once they picked through the food. As survivors, slaves took what was given to them and made meals for their families. However, this style of cooking was birthed out of survival. Since then, we have passed these same dishes from generation to generation without realizing that this style of cooking is killing us slowly. We're just big bone. My grandma was a big woman. Big women just run in the family. Not only have we continued the traditions of unhealthy eating habits, somewhere along the way, black people started to believe that we were meant to be overweight. This is false. We are a people of larger stature, but our bodies are not designed to hold as much weight as we are putting on. It is important to be cognizant of the difference between embracing our hips, tights, and overall solid physique without using those facts to justify being obese and sick. No, we may not be a nation of petite and tiny women and men, but that does not mean we cannot be healthy and fit. Gluttony is celebrated. Additionally, African Americans are known to enjoy each other's company over food and spirits. The concern is that we do not recognize that we are a gluttonous culture. We mock our tendency to overindulge. Overeating often results in the itis or extreme fatigue after a heavy meal. This idea that it's appropriate to stuff yourself and be inactive is a contributing factor to our obesity. Food should fuel you. If you are incapacitated after eating, chances are that meal is going to be equally strenuous on your digestive system. food, desert, and the flaming hot culture. Growing up in a low-income community, it was not uncommon for us to rely on convenience store, liquor store, and gas station for snacks and meals. Without the availability of fresh produce and quality meats, the majority of families in poor neighborhoods are forced to build their diets around foods that were readily available. This includes processed foods, soda slash juice, old or bad cuts of meat, and food rich in starch. Lack of physical activity. Not only are we underexposed to healthy eating options, African Americans are less likely to exercise and engage in high energy physical activity on a regular basis. Here are some of the tips on how to take charge of your physical health. Hydration is key. Replace your pop and sugar juices with H2O, which is water. Fry less, bake more. Incorporate at least one vegetable in each meal. Less processed food. Replace candy with fruit. Limit alcohol intake. 30 minutes of physical activity a day. Seek medical advice from your physical or health care provider. A healthy mind, body, and soul is not heavily promoted in the African American community. There's a lack of knowledge surrounding this holistic lifestyle, and as a result, we are at a greater risk for developing chronic and life-threatening diseases such as high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. Our bodies will work for us and sustain us until old age if we take care of them. Unfortunately, we are so lost to the point that we believe that getting sick is inevitable. A clean diet is the best preventative tool we have for combating illnesses. To maintain good health, we must change our relationship with food and exercise. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when I first got to the United States of America and I walked into a meat store or a meat shop, I noticed back then, ladies and gentlemen, in 1980, that you can get 20 pounds of chicken back for just $1. You can get 20 pounds of tripe for 60 cents a pound. You can get cow head, cow skin, cow cock, all the leftovers of an animal, the carcasses we used to buy at an alarming rate in the United States of America for pennies. But as soon as these retailers, these meat shops, found out that we, West Indian especially, was eating up this thing at an alarming rate, they raises the price on us. So if you go to a store right now in the United States of America and you order 20 pounds of chicken back, you can best believe you're going to pay a pretty penny for that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, back home in my country, Jamaica, these are some of the food that we grew up on. And to be honest with you, I enjoy eating a tripe and bean. Nothing feel good and tastes good like a nice dish of tripe and bean. Cow cod, we used to call it, or the cow's dick, we used to call it. We call that delicacy, especially if you're a man and we're cooking the soup. That cow dick has to be in the soup because that's what makes you strong. Goat head, the goat balls or the goat seed, these are considered delicacies. Chicken foot, chicken back, these are considered delicacies, ladies and gentlemen. These are something that we feed on and we enjoy. Little did we know that these are scraps left over from the master's table, and that was what we glorified. My resolution for the new year coming up in 2018 is to practice a better and healthier eating and drinking habits. Because if you take care of your bodies, of course your body will be here for a long time. Ladies and gentlemen, we see our culture in Jamaica, and I'm not knocking anybody who love their good old tripe and bean meal. I'm not knocking anybody if you want to eat cow head and bean with white rice. I'm not knocking anybody who wants to eat anything that they want to eat. But ladies and gentlemen, we have to start teaching our youngsters where this food came from. I had no idea that I was eating leftovers from the master's table. I consider myself uh, intelligent, honest, clean, and I'm trying to lead a healthy lifestyle. I've suffered no major illnesses, ladies and gentlemen. Never been diagnosed with high blood pressure. Never had prostate problem. Never had diabetes problem. Never had none of these problems. And I ate some of those food. I'm lucky. I'm one of the few who at age 60, I have no major problem with my health. I'm very happy for that. But Jamaica, for the new year coming up, we start and we must learn how to eat more vegetables, more fruits, drink plenty of water. And if you practice those habits, I guarantee you your trip to the doctor will be less and less and less. And guess what? You'll end up saving more money. Our race, we came from kings and queens. We eat some of the best fruits and vegetables back in those days. We should get back to our culture, get back to who we really are as African people, people with greatness among us. As we see, we are lacking love for one another. Where do you think that comes from? Some people like to eat rare meat. Rare meat is uncooked meat. That is not the culture of black people. I'm not trying to be prejudiced here, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm just telling you the truth. We discovered fire way before anybody else. We learned how to cook way before anybody else. We are the creator of civilization. So, my fellow Jamaicans, this is just one of the topics that I've never touched on, and I believe that you all deserve, especially the younger ones, you all deserve to know where your choice of food is coming from, how you got involved in eating, say, something like tripe and bean, the intestine of animals, the skins of animals, the hooves, of animals, the head of animals, you know what I mean? The reproductive organs of animals. That's what we grew up on eating here in Jamaica. And I'm saying to you, for those who watch this video and for those who are fond of mine, change your eating habit. Start eating healthy. Because guess what? If you eat healthy, you will live longer and you'll be able to see your grandchildren grow up and even your great-grandchildren grow up. Fish is a good product to eat. Vegetables, fruits, that's what our diet should be. So ladies and gentlemen, that is just my take on eating healthy today. Thank you all for watching, and I do hope that you all can have a great day. And remember, for your New Year's resolution, eat healthy and live. Thank you.